Hey, welcome. Have you ever looked around San Miguel County and wondered, who actually decides what gets built where? Well, today we're diving into exactly that. We're going to unpack the land use code, which is basically the blueprint for our community's future. It might sound a little dry, but trust me, it's a really fascinating look at how we try to get growth and preservation right. So let's get into it.
So let's just start with that big question right there. Who does decide what our community looks like? Seriously, who makes the call on where a new neighborhood goes, or how tall a building can be, or which of those incredible scenic views are protected for good? It's a question that affects every single one of us, every single day we live here.
And a huge part of the answer lies right here in something called the Land Use Code. The best way to think about it is like a rule book. It's the set of rules that we, as a community, have all agreed to follow to guide how and where our county grows. It's our shared game plan.
So at its heart, the land use code is just a set of rules and policies that guides all development. And I mean all of it. It doesn't matter if it's one new house, a big commercial building, or a massive expansion at the ski area. It all has to follow the guidelines in this code. And the whole point is to make sure our growth is orderly, that it's safe, and this is the most important part, that it actually reflects what we value as a community.
But this is so much more than just a bunch of restrictions or red tape. It's really a forward-looking document. It's our shared agreement on how we're going to preserve the unique character of this county while also building a future that's sustainable. It's our collective vision, just written down on paper.
Which of course brings us to the next big question. Why even have a code like this in the first place? Well, trying to manage a county as special as ours is a constant balancing act. And this code? It's basically our #1 tool for trying to get that balance just right.
See, the whole thing is built on a handful of core principles. These are the things we've decided are absolutely essential to protect. We're talking about everything from preserving those breathtaking scenic views and protecting wildlife habitats to making sure that any growth, like at the ski area, is balanced with things like public services and, yes, housing. It's about ensuring we have clean water and air while also protecting our incredible history.
And the code gets really specific. It's not just a bunch of vague ideas. Just take a look at this quote. It's pulled directly from Section 214. It says the policy is to preserve and protect water resources, recognizing the county's semi-arid character. This just shows you how the code is grounded in our local reality. We live in a dry place, and our rules for development have to reflect that critical fact.
So here's the bottom line. The code really has two big jobs. First, it's designed to protect the very things that make San Miguel County so special: our incredible environment, our wide-open spaces, our heritage, and at the exact same time, it gives us a clear roadmap for growing in a way that's responsible and sustainable.
Okay, so we've got a handle on what the code is and why it's so important, but how does it actually work day to day? How does a simple idea for a new project go from a sketch on a napkin to a real building with a permit in hand? Let's break that process down.
It all kicks off when a developer submits an application. From there, the county's planning staff dives in. They review it to make sure it's complete and follows the rules. They also get feedback from other agencies and, importantly, from the public. Based on all that input, the staff makes a recommendation. Either approve it, deny it, or maybe approve it but with certain conditions. And finally, a decision-making body, like the planning director or the planning commission, makes that final call.
Now, not all projects are created equal. There are really two main paths to approval. For simpler, more straightforward stuff, there's an administrative review. It's faster and handled by the planning director. But for more complex projects, the ones with a bigger impact, they have to go to a public hearing. That process involves public meetings and testimony, making sure the community has a real say in those major decisions.
All right, let's pivot and talk about one of the biggest challenges facing our community right now: housing. It's a huge topic, so how does the Land Use Code, this big rule book, actually help us tackle this critical issue?
Well, the code basically gives the county a whole toolbox of different zoning districts, and each one is designed for a specific purpose. For example, you've got a low-density zone, or LD, which is for single-family homes on bigger lots to keep that rural feel. But then you have a high-density zone, or HD, where you can build more units, like apartment buildings. The code also allows for things like secondary dwelling units, and there's even a special zone, the AH, created specifically to build deed-restricted affordable housing.
And this is really important. None of this is by accident. It is a deliberate, intentional strategy that's written right into our community's blueprint. The code is being actively used to encourage a whole variety of housing types, from big homes to small apartments, all to help meet the needs of everyone who lives and works here.
Okay, now I want you to look at this number, 400 square feet.
This number might not seem like much, but it is at the absolute heart of one of the most important and, honestly, innovative housing policies in the entire land use code.
It's a key part of what we call our employee housing mitigation policy. Here's how it works. Let's say a new development is projected to create one new job. That developer has to contribute towards creating a 400-square-foot portion of housing for that employee. So if a new hotel creates 10 jobs, it has to help create 4,000 square feet of housing. It's a creative solution that directly connects new commercial growth to the housing problem it can create. It's pretty brilliant.
So when you start to put all these pieces together, you can really see that the code takes a multi-pronged approach to housing. It's not banking on just one solution. It's a smart combination of zoning that allows for more density where it makes sense, flexible rules for things like secondary units, and these direct, innovative policies like employee housing mitigation.
And honestly, this is the most crucial point of our whole explainer today. The land use code isn't just a barrier. It's not just a set of hoops for people to jump through. It is a powerful, proactive tool that we, as a community, use to actively shape our own future and tackle our biggest challenges, like housing, head-on.
At the end of the day, the land use code is a living document, and it really relies on input from people like you. It's shaping our future every single day. So the real question is, what role are you going to play in that future? To learn more, you can always visit the county's website. Thanks so much for tuning in.